Now, good morning, everybody. How are you, my students? I'm happy to teach you back. Actually, I taught you a year before, and I remember a lot of your names, Jasmine, one of the names, Aliyan, Yasmin, I think, Yasmin Aliyan, and Suad Ahmed, or what, Suad Ahmed, that excellent student. Rajab, a lot of your names I can remember, and yeah, okay. However, I'm happy to teach you again, and I'm sure that you will enjoy learning phonetics. First of all, we have to learn what is phonetics. Phonetics, the word phone means sound, and tic means science. So phonetics, it means studying sounds. And here we study human. When you say phonetics as a science, we mean science which study human sounds, not any sounds, not animal sounds or bird sounds. It studies human sounds. How do we produce our sounds? How do we describe our sounds? And so on. It is useful because mainly it helps you to read a foreign language well. And when you meet a word that you have never listened before and you cannot pronounce it, just you go to the dictionary, pronunciation dictionary, in which you find transcription of words written in a phonetic form, and you will learn how to pronounce it. Okay. Slide 2. What is phonetics? The definition of phonetics. Phonetics is the study of sounds of language, any spoken language, any human language in isolation. When I say in isolation, I mean that we study each sound alone. For example, A, we study it alone. Where is it produced in the mouth? Where, is it voiced or voiceless? We will learn. Yeah, you understand these things, but I want to remind you of something, that those who studied Quran, we have أصوات مهموزة, أصوات مجهورة, أصوات حلقية, وهكذا. So the place of, for example, أصوات بنسموها الأنفية بالعربي، اللي هو اللي فيها الغنة. So it is the same way how to describe sound in English, okay? So this is what we will study. What you study in Quran is what you will study in phonetics, okay? So I'm sure that you will enjoy it and you will learn from it alone. So again, phonetics is the study of sounds of language, of any spoken language in isolation. Each sound is described alone, okay? It is concerned with the sounds production, كيف تنتج الصوت, and mechanism, okay? For example, it is concerned with the point at which sounds are produced in the vocal cavity and the manner in which it is produced and voicing. It will be explained, all of this will be explained now. A human sound, what is a sound? When you say sound, what is a sound? What is a sound? Sound is air. Air comes out of the mouth or of the nose. Now, when you speak, do you use your eyes to speak? No. Do you use your hand like writing? No. So you use your mouth. What comes out of your mouth? Air. Modified air, like as sounds of language. When I say mother. Its air comes from your mouth, but it is modified. The first sound is M. It is modified like M. بطلعه على شكل M. Okay. ما the TH. I pronounce it the. بطلعها من بين الأسنان مع استعمال اللسان as the. So speech or sounds are air. A human sound is an air stream initiated, begins in the lungs and goes up through the vocal cords, الأحبال الصوتية بيطلع فوق, oral cavity, which is the mouth, and nasal cavity, which is the nose. These three positions are called organs of speech. So the organs of speech are lungs, oral cavity, and nasal cavity. Okay, the air starts, when we speak, the air starts from our lungs, goes up through the vocal cords, and then it passes, to go out, it passes either through the mouth or through the nose. Oral cavity and nasal cavity. Language sounds are distinguished according to three features. We say place of articulation. What do we mean by place of articulation? Where we produce sounds exactly. For example, when I want to say the sound B. Now look, B. Where do you produce it? B. Your lips, your two lips are close together. B. Okay. It is not the same when I produce ing. You find my tongue, look at your tongue. Where is your tongue? And the air comes out of your nose. So it is, when I say, for example, if your upper teeth and your lower lip comes together. So this is the place of articulation. When I say, what is the place of articulation of if? You say if, upper teeth and lower lip together, we produce the sound if and the sound V. But if and V, the same place of articulation, but why one says if and the other says v, v, v? Do you know? Because one is voiced, which is if the vocal cords vibrate, so you produce if. This is voicing, al-majhur, and if, which is voiceless, the vocal cords don't vibrate. Okay, so this is what we mean by voicing, a place of articulation where we produce the sound, and voicing, the third point, whether the vocal cords, الأحبال الصوتية, vibrate or not. And manner of articulation, the second point, manner of articulation, it means how do we release air. For example, when I say it is pronounced when I let the air comes out of my mouth. B, b. I let the air comes out of my mouth suddenly. B. I open my lips. B. But when I say this is called plosive sound, يعني الصوت الانفجاري اللي بتطلق الهواء منه فجأة. Now, when you say, for example, the sound is, you can continue saying is for a long time, for hours. So the air is released, but not suddenly. It is a matter of letting the air pass gradually. Okay. I can say it and you listen that this is, okay? So you also, all of these things, you will learn them You will learn them in details and you will understand more. Just now, I'm trying to give you an idea about what is phonetics. Slide 5. Phonetics is useful because it helps you to pronounce words well or correctly. Because English is not pronounced in the same way it is written. For example, the same letter may be represented in a variety of sounds. Now, one letter, you can pronounce it in many ways. For example, now here, where is the slide before. Spelling is not, or orthography is not inconsistent with the sounds. Yani spelling is not the same like what you read or what you pronounce. One sound may be represented in many letters or letter combination. Let's see the examples here written in red. Now, the sound E, we have the sound E. It's written between two slashes. This is the sound, how to write a sound, the sound E, phonetic writing, okay? This shape is E, this I and E, you see it's in one sound E. Now, in the words, look at these words. How is it written in letters? He, H, E, just only E. But look at people. P, the sound E. The sound E. How many letters do you see here? How many letters are you seeing? E and O, but it is pronounced E. P, people. Key, E, Y. Together make the sound E. Believe, L-E, E, which is I-E, I-E. Black, here. Okay, now, so the sound, look at the letters, there are two letters, I-E, but they are pronounced E, okay? Sees, E-I, sees, E-I, but it is pronounced E. Machine, she, okay? Only the letter I, but it is pronounced E. Caesar, Caesar, C, Caesar. A-E, but it is pronounced E, okay? Sees, E-A, E, the sound E, but the letters E-A. C, the sound E-E, double E, but the letter E, but the letters E-E. Amoeba, 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 O-E. So you see, many letters or many combination of letters are pronounced in the same way. That's why we have to learn phonetics. That's why phonetics is important, and it will be easy when you will learn how to read these things and how to read combination of letters. You will learn everything, so it's not difficult. Now, also, slide 5, the same letter, one letter can be pronounced in different ways. If you take the letter A, in father, it's father, it's A, father, A. Car, for example, A. But when you say care, it's A, care. Also, it's one letter, but it's A, care. Look here, father. The A is pronounced A. Village. The A is pronounced A. Ville. Village is pronounced A. Badly. Ba. A. The sound A is pronounced A. Made. The letter A is pronounced A. May. A. Now, and here the letter A in many is pronounced ma. Many. Okay? So that's why it is important to learn phonetics. Slide 6. The organs of speech. Do we speak? Speech is the noun of speak. Speech. Do we speak with our hands? Do we speak with our eyes? Do we speak with our feet? No. So what do we use to speak? We use our mouth, our tongue, our nose, our vocal cords. We let air pass in these organs to produce language. So we want to recognize the organs of speech. Okay, first I want you to see a picture. Before reading the slide, I want to see the picture in this. Here are the organs of speech. Okay, here are the organs of speech. Let's start from down, the vocal cords. The vocal cords. What are the vocal cords? الأحبال الصوتية. The space between the vocal cords, it means, is called glottis. Glottis, where the air passes, when the air passes between the vocal cords, when they are open, it vibrates, the air vibrates the vocal cords. We produce voice sounds like j, and so on. The voice sounds. When the vocal cords are over each other, very narrowed, so we produce voiceless sounds like if, okay? If, and so on. Go to the right. We have the larynx. الحنجرة اللي بتحتوي الأحبال الصوتية. الحنجرة الفراغ اللي في وسط الفراغ المنخفض هذا اللي في قاع الرقبة. larynx. Okay, now go up also over the pharynx, in the space, in the white space, الفراغ الأبيض, we have pharynx البلعوم. Okay, then let's go in the white space, which is not shaded. You find the word oral cavity. الفم، ما هو في داخل الفم. oral cavity. What do you find in the oral cavity? Now, look at the left. First of all, you have the lips. You know the lips. Come back. After the lips, you have the teeth. Upper teeth and lower teeth. Then, after the teeth, you have the tongue. You see the tongue? The tip of the tongue. Tip, حافة اللسان, طرف اللسان, tip of the tongue. The tongue have four areas: tip, front, back, and root. Can you see the word tongue? tongue from the left, tip, front, back, root. It is a very important organ to produce language. Tongue is a very important, the most important organ to produce language. Okay? Then go up to the other white cavity, nasal cavity. Can you see? To the white cavity, not shaded. Nasal cavity. Nasal cavity. Okay? Look to the right. Nostril, as you see, فتحة الأنف. Okay? Now go up. We have hard palate. Hard palate. سقف الحلق. In the oral cavity, we have an arrow in the middle. We have hard palate. And go back to the right. We have soft palate and or velum. If you put your finger in your mouth behind the teeth, we have alveolar ridge اللي هي اللثة أو حافة الأسنان. Alveolar ridge. Behind the alveolar ridge, we have the hard palate. Put your finger on your hard palate. طب. Move your finger back. You find the soft palate or the velum. These are the organs of speech. It's not difficult to learn them. Just when you draw this form many times, you will learn them very well. It is an enjoyable topic. Okay, go back to slide 6. The organs of speech. Speech organs include lips. Okay, gradually lips, teeth, alveolar اللثة أو الحافة, alveolar ridge, hard palate, soft palate or velum, uvula لسان المزمار المدلة, uvula, pharynx, larynx, including the vocal cords and the glottis and the windpipe. Most of them move in particular way when we produce sounds. They can be divided into 2 major categories. One of these organs are movable. They move, like the tongue moves, the jaw moves down, okay? The vocal cords move, and others are not moved. Now, mobile, some of them mobile, like lips, they move, open and shut and down and up and spread and close. Lips, tongue, velum are mobile or moving. Immobile, like hard palate, سقف الحلق, ما بتحرك. alveolar ridge, اللي هي اللثة, ما بتتحرك, ثابتة. Okay. When we speak, mobile organs always move towards immobile ones. Okay. Producing different speech sounds require 2 main things. Activating the speech organs, you have to use your speech organs, to produce sounds. A body of air is moving from lungs through the mouth or the nose. This is, actually, it is explained. Now, the larynx. What is the larynx? Larynx is the muscle structure that lies at the top of the windpipe, في قمة القصبة الهوائية. شوفوا الفراغ المنخفض هذا اللي في قاع الرقبة هو, this is the larynx. It is a very important speech organ because it contains the vocal cords and the glottis. The space between the glottis means the space between the vocal cords and through which air stream passes upwards. The glottis is normally open in breathing, but when we speak, it is partially closed. Across larynx, there are two elastic tissues which stretch horizontally. Look, look at the brown. Look at Adam here. Look at Adam apple, تفاحة Adam. There is a brown color here, which shows the vocal cords. They are stretched horizontally. بمروا بالحنجرة بالعرض مش بالطول. Okay? And they are called vocal cords. The state of the vocal cords, open or closed, يا اما بيكونوا open يا اما بيكونوا closed, affect the quality of the sound as voiced or voiceless. So when they are open, they produce voiced sounds, أصوات مجهورة. When they are closed, they produce voiceless sounds. طيب. Okay. Here is the shape of the vocal cords. When they are narrowed, you look here. Now, on the left, they are narrowed, and on the right, they are open. The tongue. Have you ever seen your tongue in this shape, in this form? You see, do you see the tongue? The tongue is a very important part in producing sounds. Down, it's the tip. All of it is called, all of this, what you see here, is called the plate of the tongue. The lowest part is called the tip, then upper, a bit upper, the front, then the middle, then the back of the tongue. Where you see these dots, these small dots, is the back of the tongue. It is divided into sections: tip, blade or front, back, and root. Root, you see? Now, here are the parts of the tongue. This picture shows the parts of the tongue. Tip, do you see the arrow of the tip? This is the arrow of the tip, the lowest one. Front blade, front, middle, and back. Here are the parts of the tongue, and we are talking and focusing about the parts of the tongues because they are very important in producing sounds. You will learn when we use the tip, we use something else. When we produce a sound, when you use the front, we produce a different sound. When we use the back, we produce a different sound. For example, when I want to produce if, I use the tip and the upper teeth. When I want to use, for example, the sound ka, I use the back of the tongue, ka. Put your finger in your mouth when you produce ka. You'll find yourself using the back of the tongue. That's why it is very important to know the parts of the tongue. Okay? Now, the vocal tract. What do you mean by the vocal tract? It means the mouth and the nose. Shortly, it means the mouth and the nose. This is the vocal tract. Here you have the picture. You have the mouth, which is called oral tract, and or oral cavity, sorry, oral cavity, and the upper white one. You have two white pieces. One is the oral cavity, and the upper one is the nasal cavity. Okay, these are what these parts are what we called vocal tract. Now, the jaws. Do you know the jaw? The jaws, الفك, we have two jaws. The jaws are not directly involved in producing sounds. We don't use them to produce sounds. No sounds are produced at them. However, only the lower jaw is mobile. So the lower jaw moves. It can be lowered. It can be lowered. It can be lowered and raised during the production. Okay, now here, and the last one, autonomy of oral cavity. Here is the autonomy of oral cavity. You see in your oral cavity, you see your tongue, in your mouth, your tongue, the teeth, of course, the lip, starting from down, the lips, the teeth, the mouth, the tongue, the uvula. You see the uvula, the upper teeth, the upper lips, and so on. This is the description of the oral cavity. Now the hard palate. In the oral cavity you find the hard palate, سقف الحلق الجامد. Okay, the hard palate. It is the bone roof of the mouth which lies between the velum and the alveolar ridge. It is an immobile articulator. Immobile غير متحرك، هذا ما بيتحرك. احنا بنحرك الفك، بنحرك اللسان، بنحرك الفك الأسفل، لكن we don't move our hard palate. Okay. The lips, everybody knows what are the lips, what the lips are, sorry, what are, everybody knows what the lips are. And teeth, you see beautiful white teeth. We have upper teeth and lower teeth. And you see the teeth are fixed in the alveolar ridge. This is the ridge, لثة. This is the alveolar ridge, okay? And you see here the tip of the tongue is very clear here. Okay, we use the teeth to produce certain sounds like if, the tip of the tongue, and the teeth also if, and so on. We use the teeth to produce these sounds. Now, alveolar ridge, here is the alveolar ridge. You see what we call litha, where teeth grow, okay? The alveolar ridge is a hard ridge behind the upper teeth, between the hard palate, the roof of the mouth, and the upper teeth, okay? Thank you very much. Stop share. Stop share, stop record.